everyone, so on Tuesday the 19th of January, and this is our English. It's our final day of the snail and the whale, and I've been so impressed with all of your amazing language that you've been using already. I saw that Joseph had done the stormy sea. It was just brilliant. I saw that Kian had used 2 adjectives. Amazing. So thank you so much on our final day. And because you were so good, I have made today a little bit harder. So I'm sorry, but I know that you can do it. So let's go. Right, we're obviously going to start with our warm-up. So this one, quite nice and simple, because I'm being a bit meaner with our English today. It says tick the words which start with a capital letter. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've got 6 words. So tick, does number 1 start with a capital letter? If it does, you can write 1 and give it a tick. If it doesn't, write 1 and give it a cross. Then write number 2. If number 2 starts with a capital letter, give it a tick. If it doesn't, write 2, give it a cross. You see what I mean? So you are going to want to pause me here so you can do your ticks and crosses for those 6 words, and then unpause me and we will get started. Okay. Oh, it's a big word today, year 1. Now that word at the top in bold writing and underlined says adverbs. Now, don't worry too much about remembering that word, okay? I just want us to use this language in our writing because it makes it even better. So we're going to write the very end of the story today. And we're getting a bit fancy. So you sort of flick your hair. We're getting a bit fancy with our word choices. Adverbs are words that can end in all and y, and together that makes the ly sounds at the end of a word. And it describes how something happens. Okay, we could say the snail went to get help. If you see down here, the snail went to get help. That would make sense as a sentence. The snail went to get help. That absolutely would work as a sentence. Okay, but we can make it better by using one of these things called adverbs. So if you look at this word in green, that word says worriedly. Okay, the snail's worried, isn't he? He can't help the whale. He needs to go and get some other help to support him. So now the sentence says the snail worriedly went to get help. Okay, it just makes it better. Okay, so the adverb is describing how the snail went to get help. Okay, he went worriedly to go and get help. We could say the snail nervously went to get help because he's worried about his friend. He's nervous about his friend. We could say the snail quickly went to get help because the snail went as quickly as the snail could. Okay, the snail quickly went to get help. The snail anxiously went to get help. Okay, so it just makes that writing better by using one of these words. We have done this in school very briefly, but I just thought we'd take a look today. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we're going to have another look at an example here. So the snail worriedly tried to get help and he went off the beach. And now in this picture, we can see that snail was balancing on that long piece of grass, wasn't he? He was sort of balancing on that. And that was probably quite scary for him, balancing on that, because if he fell, his shell might crack. So let's have a look at this sentence. We could say the snail travelled on tall grass. That would make sense as a sentence. The snail travelled on tall grass. That does make sense. But to make it even better, we've got this adverb, a word that ends in ly. So let's see that one. This says bravely. Bravely. Okay, so the snail bravely travelled on tall grass. We've just made that better. We've got a better image of how that snail is travelling now. He's travelling bravely. It makes our writing more exciting. Okay, let's have a look on the next one. Right, We are going to have a little try ourselves, and you're going to create a bank of words about how the children are playing. So I've put some pictures from the story of how the children are playing, or pictures of them playing, and I've given you one word as an example. I have given you that the children were playing noisily. Okay, you can see there are some children playing together here. You could have a think, are they getting along with each other? Are they having a good time? We could look at these children over here. They certainly don't look like they're playing angrily with each other. I think they look like they're having a nice time together. Oh, that looks a little bit dangerous over here. I wonder how the children might be playing over there. Okay, so you want to pause the video here. This is a bit tricky, and think of how the children are playing in those pictures, and write down, even if you just write down one or two examples, that's fine, of words that end in ly. Okay, so I've given you noisily. Think of that on the playground as well. So we've got noisily. There might be another word for noisily, about loud. I'm going to let you finish the rest. So pause me here and write one or two words that end in ly to describe how the children are playing. And then unpause me and we'll move on. Okay, here we go. So you should have your bank of adverbs that end in ly to help you with this part. So this says, the snail travelled through the playground where the children were playing. Then you write the next bit. We could use my example, and in place of that question mark, we could write where the children were playing noisily. So that would be my example. You might have thought of some other words. You might have thought that the children were playing happily, and you might want to write where the children were playing happily. You might have written loudly, so you might want to write the snail travelled through the playground where the children were playing loudly. That might be your ending. So pause the video here, and you're going to write that sentence with the communication in print to help you, and instead of the question mark, you're going to add your adverb, the word that ends in ly. Okay, it's quite hard, year one, I'm sorry, but I know you can do it. I thought we'd give this a good go. So pause me here and finish writing that sentence, and then unpause me, and we've got one more to go. Okay, I'm going to give you the sentence for this one. So you're going to do reading on this slide, and then the last slide, you're going to write a sentence again. So this sentence says, the snail carefully wrote a message on the board. So the snail carefully wrote a message on the board. Okay, all you need to do for this bit, I want you to have a read of that sentence and look really carefully for the word that ends in ly, because that gives you a hint as to what the adverb is. So the snail carefully wrote a message on the board. And all you need to do for this bit is you can either say to your parent and carer, or you can say to me, which word is the adverb? If you want to write it down, that's fine, you can write it down. So read through that sentence and try and spot which word ends in that ly sounds there, ends in those ly sounds. Okay, so pause me here if you need to. If not, we'll just go to the next bit. Okay, your final sentence, year one. So it's the very end of the story. So we're thinking this time about how people helped the whale. Okay, did they think that the whale would be fine, so that they helped the whale slowly? Not sure they helped him slowly. He needed to survive. Were they helping him? Were they cross about having to help him? So have a think of that story. I'm not sure they were cross. So let's see here our communication in print. People, something, went to help the whale. We could say people slowly went to help the whale, but I don't think they did do it slowly. I wonder how they did do it. Certainly wasn't slow. Did they help angrily? So people angrily went to help the whale. I thought the children seemed quite excited and seemed quite in a rush to go and help the whale. So pause me here and see if you can complete that sentence with your own adverb to go where the question mark is going. Okay, sorry year one, that seems like a bit of a longer video today, but you're so good with your language choices that I thought I'd give you a bit of a challenge. So pause me here, finish writing that sentence, and then upload all of your amazing pictures to Dojo. All right, thank you year one. Bye.